It was right when I joined a life group that my wife and I had found out that our 2-year-old son was diagnosed with a genetic kidney disease. When something like that happens, you kind of have two choices. You can either lean into God or you can shrink back. And my life group leader, I was in a men's group, I had kind of shared with him what was going on and just how heavy that was for me as a husband and as a dad. He said, well, I'll pray for your son. And I said, I appreciate that. That means a lot. And we went through a season where we had been really praying. We were praying so hard for our son. And every doctor's appointment that we had with having the biopsy and the medication and the doctor's visits and all of the tests that were done, everything that was being thrown back at us felt like we were just taking huge monumental steps back and we weren't gaining any ground. So fast forward about 6-8 months, we had gone to his urologist, and it was just another routine checkup. And I remember the day, it was a Thursday, and I was at work and my wife had to take him to Vanderbilt, and all day it was just on my mind, just praying so hard for my boy, and just praying that God would deliver him from just everything that came along with this diagnosis. And she called me and that phone rang, and I just remember picking up the phone and asking her, like, what's the news? And she said, I think Isaac's healed. She said the doctors ran the tests and they couldn't find anything. Like, it's gone. So fast forward a week, and I come to church and I happen to run into my life group leader, and I can't wait to tell him the story of what God has done. And I start to tell him, and he said, what day was this? And I told him, I said, it was last Thursday. He shows me on his phone, this man had set a reminder on his phone for 8 months. For 8 months, he had a reminder set on his phone every day to pray for my son. And he said, I was gonna pray for your son on Thursday, but God told me I didn't need to pray for him anymore, that he's good. I believe with every ounce of my being that it was at that very moment that my son was healed. If it wasn't for having other godly men spurring me on after God, I would have had to have done all of that. I would have had to have gone through that season alone. So men, if you're not in a life group, now's the time. You don't have to do this alone. We're better together. We're stronger together.